Ray Johnson. I'm a professor here at Texas A&M University, and today we're going to talk about the respiratory system. We're going to talk about the bronchus, the conducting portion, respiratory portion, bronchioles, alveolar ducts, sacs, alveoli, mast cells, macrophages, type 1 and 2 pneumocytes, diseases, and natural defenses. So here's the pleural, visceral pleural that we have right up to there. Pleural cavity be up in there. You have mesothelium on the surface. These are alveolar ducts in through the ear, as what we saw before. This is respiratory bronchiole, alveolar ducts, alveolar sacs, alveoli. Just as we saw before, and that's where you have gases exchange to occur. The biggest duct that gases exchange occur is the respiratory bronchioles. So air condition occurs in the respiratory system. There are a series of ducts which carry gases along the way. Is what conditioned air is modified as it goes through there. It's warmed. It's moisture is added to it. The bronchus has the cartilage plates. Conducting bronchioles no longer have plates. Respiratory bronchiole opens out into alveoli, and then the alveolar ducts open up into the alveolar sacs, and then the alveolar sacs give way to the alveoli. Here we see the bronchus here, here, and here because they have the cartilage plates, and then we have a conducting bronchiole which no longer has a plate. This is the elastic artery up through there. They have macrophages. There's a nice macrophage here. You see the nucleus. You can see various sizes and various intensities of structures inside there. They're located in the airspace itself. So they're located in the airspace, are not attached to the wall. Now, in terms of the difference in the bronchus and the bronchioles, the bronchus has cartilage plates, as you can see there. So you came down from the trachea, which has a horseshoe shape, a C-shape cartilage, that breaks down into plates for the bronchus. You also still have pseudostratified respiratory epithelium with goblet cells. There's smooth muscle in through there, and also you have glands, both serous and mucous glands in through there, and then there's glands in the submucosa as well. And then when you get to the bronchioles, you no longer have pseudostratified, you just have a simple columnar epithelium on the surface as you're through there. And you also have organized smooth muscle is still there, but no cartilage. You don't have a cartilage plate as you did before. Now, in the respiratory portion, you have the terminal bronchioles, which is the one that opens up into the respiratory bronchiole, and there's a certain cell in a Clara cell. We don't know what they do, but they're there. They kind of bulge out. You can see ciliated cells on either side in through there, and also you can see elastic fibers. So these are elastic fibers that you see there. Smooth muscle, and you can see the smooth muscle in these respiratory bronchioles. In this case, is the respiratory bronchiole, terminal bronchiole up there. Respiratory because it is opening out into the, and again we can see this is a surface of the lungs, or pleural cavity would be right here, mesothelium on its surface, and actually there's some elastic tissue right in through there, and then we can see the type 1, the flattened cell, which has a gas exchange, and type 2, which actually produces surfactant. But both of those are actually part of the wall. And that's in contrast to the alveolar macrophages, or the dust cells, which is located in the air space itself. And then, of course, you have rich blood vessels in through there. Capillaries were discovered in the lungs because they didn't know that the blood system was a circulatory system until they located the capillaries in the lungs, which connected the arteries to the veins. Now, here we see the blood-air barrier. This is blood inside here. This is air, and you see how thin it is. It's very thin, and in that thin layer, we can see with this higher magnification of this box, there's two cells. You have the type 1 pneumocyte, which is touching the air, and then you have the endothelial cell, the blood capillary. So there's three components. There's a shared basal lamina, and these two cells make up the three components of the air-blood barrier. You can see how thin it is. So what's in the air is going to be in your blood very soon because it's not very much, it's not very thick to penetrate through, and that's what we're seeing in the air spaces. The walls of the air spaces have blood vessels in there, and they just have this one barrier between the two. If you take caulking, like you seal the window, and put it inside the lungs, it will show you the branching and branching and branching of the bronchus and the bronchioles that are located in through there, and you see the air goes through larger pipes and smaller pipes and smaller pipes, and you have a series of branching and branching and branching that goes on with the little alveolus at the very, very end. Now, this branching and branching and branching increases the surface area of the lungs, and you can see these are the alveoli that are located here. Maybe this is a bronchiole that we see over there, alveolar duct as we see here, but by the branching and branching, you increase the surface area so that your surface area for gas exchange in your lungs is the size of a tennis court. So it's a very large size for you they have the small lungs, and it's facilitated by the branching and branching and branching that goes there. You see a terminal bronchiole here. We can see again the type 1 pneumocyte, the flattened cell, the type 2 pneumocyte, which produces surfactant, as opposed to the macrophages, the cells that are free in through there. This is a respiratory bronchiole, alveolar duct, alveolar sac in through there, and then this would be an alveoli that we see in through there. And again, we see mesothelium lining it. Also in the connective tissue, you might see mast cells. And here we see a mast cell. There's this nucleus, and there's the droplets. You can see those again in the higher mag. These are the secretions, and the cell can release its granules and then produce more granules and then degranulate again. And they're associated with antibodies, which directs them to specific antigens to degranulate. You see the mast cells here, and they're located. They give many local bioactive substances are produced that are related to the inflammatory response, repair of tissue, and innate immunity. So they're helpful for you. They produce heparin, histamine, different chemicals that they produce, but you need not confuse them with the type 2 cell. And here we see a type 2 cell here and here, and it has some granules in there as well. And the type 2 cell, you see these granules are actually surfactant. Here you see a type 2 cell here, which is attached to the wall. See the white structure there? That is the surfactant. It's a lipid protein, a substance that coats the surface. It coats the inside surface and reduces surface tension within the alveolar surface. And here we can see one of those cells, a type 2 cell. There's the nucleus, and you see the lamellar structures, layers here, which unfolds, lays out, and covers the surface of the type 1, type 2 cells that are located in the alveolus. And you can see the mitochondria, different organelles associated with the production of these things, the Respiratory, the Golgi. You can see some Golgi vesicles in through there, as well as mitochondria to provide energy for transport. Here we can see type 1 pneumocytes here, 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 here. They have to be everywhere around so they can facilitate the reduction of the surface tension inside the alveolus. If you have ever closed a wet plastic bag before, you know it's hard to open it again. And the same thing happens here. The surface tension wants to keep it collapsed. If you have surfactant on the surface, then it reduces the surface tension and allow you to relax. In fact, that's what happens. It reduces the surface tension to allow you to open up. Then it also has some bactericidal effect in the surfactant material. You have a disease, a hyaline membrane disease. Immature infants don't make enough surfactant, and so it's difficult for them to breathe because the alveolus closes, but they won't open back up, and as a consequence, it is difficult to breathe. Also, the fluid, it has a cleaning action to it, has lysosomes, collagenase, and different things, antibodies, which are useful for countering bacteria infection that will go. Also, macrophages are right there. They will eat up any red blood cells. You will see a macrophage right there, right there. They eat those up. They eat other things up. The dust particles that are in there cleans it up. Things that go through the conducting portion is not cleaned by there. Unfortunately, asbestos is one of those things that's very, very small in size, and it doesn't get cleared with the conducting portion, and the macrophages eat those up. Other macrophages try to eat those up, and they clog up the airspace. Is the problem with asbestos. Another problem with airway is airway can be obstructed, and this is in case of asthma. Now, asthma occurs mostly in children because they have a more sensitive airway. All of us have a sensitive airway. Our cells are sensitive. If you would aerate black pepper, it would make you sneeze. In the case of children, they have too sensitive an airway of a person with asthma, so that the smooth muscle here contracts, and it reduces the caliber of the air and the conducting portion of the respiratory system. So the respiratory portion never gets the fluid air because it's reduced the airflow by the contraction. You take that inhalant, what it causes these muscles to relax, and that opens up the airway again. Other problems are pneumonia and emphysema. This is a normal lung which has the pink and the white, as you can see. And in the case of pneumonia, what happens is the wall is swollen, it's thickened, too much pink in relation to it. You also have white blood cells in the surface, and the emphysema is too little pink. The walls are actually eroded away. Smoking can cause emphysema. If you smoke and stop smoking, you can lose a smoker's cough, and the smoker's cough is because it kills the ciliated cells that move the mucus out. Those cells will regenerate. However, if you stop smoking and you have emphysema, these cells, the walls will not amend. And here you see a normal lung, and this is one with emphysema. The word emphysema really means too much air in the lungs. You can see how these swollen here because they don't have the wall partitions to regulate the amount of air that's in there. So the big bunch of space here, but doesn't have the surface area for gases exchange to occur. There are some natural defenses of our respiratory system, and one is those are hairs in your nose. You can see the hairs in through there. It traps things, prevent insects from climbing in there. Also, there's mucus, and the mucus helps trap things that go inside there. Also, they have antibodies in it. Here we see some mucus, not to be handled, but you can see it there. Also, when you cough, you have a forceful expelling things that go out when you get things in the wrong pipe, and confuse your epiglottis to know where things go, and it causes you to cough. Also, you have a sneeze. Sneeze remove bacteria trapped in the mucus of your nasal cavities. Sneezing travels about 100 miles an hour and removes about 100,000 bacteria. And where they're going? Right on you is where you're going. But the point is there are some natural defenses of the respiratory system with the nose, with the mucus, with the reflexes that we have. So in terms of the respiratory system, in the little summary, We have a conducting portion, and we have upper and lower conducting portions, and there's the different parts that are associated with them. And they allow you to interact with your environment before you get oxygen in and carbon dioxide to discharge. Also, it warms the air, cleans the air, filters the air, and it humidifies the air. Then you have the respiratory portion where you have gases exchanged. Respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct, alveoli, alveolar sacs, and also you produce surfactant. Surfactant reduces surface tension so the alveolus can be opened up again. So you have skeletal components. You have skeletal muscle in your intercostal muscles. You have cartilage, mostly hyaline cartilage, but there is elastic cartilage in the epiglottis, and also rich vascularization to allow you to warm the air that's going in, and there's glands in the lamina propria to facilitate a moisturing of the system. So in summary, the function of the respiratory system is gas exchange. That's what it is. And so what happens is you get oxygen comes out of the airspace into the blood, and carbon dioxide comes out of the blood into the airspace. We have a few questions for the respiratory system. The conducting portion of the respiratory system modifies air in the following ways. It warms the air, yes. Cleans the air, yes. Dries the air, no. It humidifies the air, so the answer is D. Which of the following are involved in both inspiration and expiration? Contraction of intercostal skeletal muscle between ribs, yes. It does both. Breathe in and breathe out. Diaphragm, no. Only breathes in. Breathing out is passive by the contraction of the elastic tissue. Smooth muscle, no. Smooth muscle can only contract or reduce the size. It doesn't relax. It doesn't expand by its contraction. So the answer is A. Variation in epithelial lining of the respiratory system facilitates varied functions, which epithelial function do not match. Simple squamous alveolar ducts, yes, you have simple squamous and alveolar alveolar ducts and alveolar sacs. Goblet cells, it humidifies the air, it certainly does. Stratified squamous epithelium, false vocal cords, no. Stratified squamous epithelium is on the true vocal cords, not the full vocal cords. That combination is not correct. That is the answer C. Ciliated cells remove dust-laden mucus, true. Hair follicles filter air, true. We want to acknowledge the original sources of images, figures, and drawings that might have been used during this presentation. This is the end of the respiratory system, the bronchi, conducting respiratory bronchioles, alveolar ducts, sacs, alveoli, mast cells, macrophages, type 1 and 2, pneumocytes, diseases, and the natural defenses. Thank you.